Good evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I'm Yeshi Johnson. Here are the top stories we are tracking for you on Tuesday, the 21st of December. India ready to assist countries in Bay of Bengal region, says Defence Minister Rajnath Singh. Hindu temple vandalized in Pakistan's Karachi, one held booked for blasphemy. And US working to get aid liquidity into Afghanistan amid urgent humanitarian situation, says State Department. And now for all the details. India's Defence Minister Rajnath Singh on Tuesday witnessed a multi-agency exercise and inaugurated an equipment display on the second day of PANEX 21, a humanitarian assistance and disaster relief exercise for BIMSTEC member nations in Pune city. Asserting that BIMSTEC countries have stood by each other under trying circumstances, Singh said India will assist countries in the Bay of Bengal region in all possible ways and develop measures for regional cooperation in disaster relief. India's Defence Minister Rajnath Singh on Tuesday witnessed a multi-agency exercise and inaugurated an equipment display on the second day of PANEX 21, a humanitarian assistance and disaster relief exercise for BIMSTEC member nations, organised in Western Pune city. The Defence Minister witnessed demonstration of the capabilities of the Indian Armed Forces to launch swift, coordinated and incremental relief efforts in case of occurrence of any natural calamity in a particular region. The exercise saw a coordinated display of rescue and relief efforts by Indian Army, Navy and Air Force. Speaking at the event, Singh said the BIMSTEC countries have stood by each other under trying circumstances like cyclones, tsunamis, earthquakes and floods. India will assist countries in the Bay of Bengal region in all possible ways and develop measures for regional cooperation in disaster relief, he added.
It will remain India's endeavour to facilitate, support and assist in all possible ways and develop measures that aid in the regional cooperation which benefit all the member states in the Bay of Bengal region.
The multilateral and multi-agency exercise aims to foster jointness and develop capabilities in disaster management aspects for the BIMSTEC. The BIMSTEC regional organization comprises Bangladesh, Bhutan, Myanmar, Nepal, Sri Lanka and Thailand besides India. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Tuesday transferred around $135 million to self-help groups benefiting around 1.6 million women as he launched various women-centric schemes during his visit to Prayagraj in northern Uttar Pradesh state. This comes ahead of assembly elections in the country's most populous state early next year.
India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Tuesday transferred around $135 million to self-help groups benefiting around 1.6 million women as he launched various women-centric schemes during his visit to Prayagraj in northern Uttar Pradesh state. The initiative aims to provide women, especially those at the grassroots, with necessary skills, incentives and resources. PM Modi also released over $2.7 million to more than 100,000 beneficiaries, which provides conditional cash transfer to a girl child at different stages of her life. In his address, he said his government is working relentlessly to empower the women.
यूपी के विकास की धारा अब किसी के रोकने से रुकने वाली नहीं है। उत्तर प्रदेश की महिलाओं ने, माता बहनों बेटियों ने ठान लिया है, अब वो पहले की सरकारों वाला दौर वापस नहीं आने देगी।
The Prime Minister also hailed his government's recent decision to raise the marriage age of girls from 18 to 21. The visit comes ahead of the assembly elections in the most populous Uttar Pradesh state early next year.
In news from Pakistan, a Hindu temple was vandalized on Monday in Pakistan's Karachi city, the latest incident of attacks on the places of worship of minorities in the Muslim-majority country. The incident took place as a man entered the temple in Karachi's Ranchor Line area and damaged the statue of Hindu deity Jog Maya using a hammer. Reports suggest that the accused was apprehended by the public and handed over to local police and booked for blasphemy. Manjinder Singh Sirsa, leader of India's ruling Bharatiya Janata Party, in a series of tweets termed the incident a state-backed terror against minorities. Pakistan has long been condemned internationally for discriminating against its religious minorities, which is manifested in various forms, including targeted violence, draconian blasphemy laws, abductions, curbs on practicing religion, and forced conversion to Islam. Moving on, the main opposition Pakistan People's Party recently held a massive protest rally in Gilgit-Baltistan over rising unemployment and inflation. The protesters blamed the ruling PTI government has completely failed to develop private sector and create job opportunities, fueling a sense of deprivation amongst the educated youths in the illegally occupied region.
Force of members of the main opposition Pakistan People's Party or PPP recently held a massive protest rally in Gilgit-Baltistan over rising unemployment and inflation in the illegally occupied region. The protesters highlighted that despite possessing higher education degrees, the youths in Gilgit-Baltistan are unemployed, fueling a sense of deprivation amongst them. They blamed Pakistan PM Imran Khan's ruling PTI government is, however, hardly bothered about the concerns and aspirations of the locals and has completely failed to develop private sector to generate employment.
हम रोजगार चाहते हैं, हम अपने बच्चों को पढ़ाकर गवर्नमेंट जॉब्स दिलवाना चाहते हैं। हमारे पास फैक्ट्रियां नहीं है, हमारे पास मिलें नहीं है। हमने अपनी जमीनें फरोख्त करके अपने बच्चों को हमने ग्रेजुएट्स बनवाए हैं, पीएचडी करवाए हैं। आज वो बेरोजगार फिर रहे हैं।
The protesters also raised concern over high inflation that is particularly hitting the poor and middle classes and blamed the Pakistan government has repeatedly turned a blind eye to the problems faced by the people in territories under its illegal occupation.
Moving on to news from Afghanistan. U.S. State Department spokesperson Ned Price has said Washington believes there is an urgent humanitarian situation in Afghanistan with winter approaching and is working with UN bodies to find ways to get aid and liquidity into the Afghan economy. Washington believes there is an urgent humanitarian situation in Afghanistan with winter approaching and is working with UN bodies to find ways to get aid and liquidity into the Afghan economy, U.S. State Department spokesperson Ned Price said on Monday. In a regular press briefing, Price also called on regional and nearby countries to do more to help the situation in Afghanistan. He declined to name which countries he was talking about.
We are working with various UN bodies, including the UNDP, to find creative ways that we can infuse not only humanitarian aid, but also liquidity into the Afghan economy.
The abrupt withdrawal of foreign aid following the Taliban victory in August has pushed Afghanistan's fragile economy close to collapse. Millions are without work and the banking system is only partially functional. The World Bank and the International Monetary Fund have suspended financial aid, which previously accounted for nearly 75% of Afghanistan's public expenditure, while the United States froze billions of dollars in assets belonging to the Afghan Central Bank. Earlier on Sunday, Islamic countries pledged to set up a humanitarian trust fund for Afghanistan. The trust fund, announced by Pakistan's Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi, will be set up under the aegis of the Islamic Development Bank. The Sri Lankan Navy has arrested 13 more Indian fishermen and seized 2 fishing trawlers for allegedly poaching in the country's territorial waters, taking the number of Indians apprehended in the last 3 days to 68. 13 fishermen were arrested on Monday night and 55 fishermen were apprehended in 2 separate incidents over the weekend.
The Sri Lankan Navy arrested 13 more Indian fishermen and seized 2 fishing trawlers for allegedly poaching in the country's territorial waters, taking the number of Indians apprehended in the last 3 days to 68, an official statement said on Monday. According to the Sri Lankan Navy statement, 2 Indian fishing trawlers with 13 Indian fishermen aboard were apprehended during a special operation conducted in the seas west of the Analithivu Island on Monday night. So far, 10 Indian fishing trawlers and 68 Indian fishermen were taken into naval custody during such operations in the Northern and North Central Naval Commands on the 18th, 19th and 20th December, it said. Arrangements are being made to hand them over to relevant authorities for legal action after rapid antigen tests of the apprehended Indian fishermen. Fishermen from both countries are arrested frequently for inadvertently trespassing into each other's waters. The fisherman issue has become a major irritant in bilateral ties. Meanwhile, protesting against the arrest of fishermen by the Sri Lankan Navy, more than 200 fishermen staged a demonstration in India's southern Rameshwaram on Monday, pressing for their quick release. The fishermen have warned to intensify their protest if the Sri Lankan government failed to release the arrested fishermen. Meanwhile, reports have surfaced that the Tamil Nadu government has been asked by Foreign Ministry to submit a list of probable participants from the fishing community in the state and tentative dates for the proposed talks between its fisher folk and that of the northern province in Sri Lanka.
Residents in parts of India's Jammu and Kashmir shivered from extreme cold as Chillai Kala, a 40-day-long period of harshest winter, began on Tuesday. During this period, daily life remains paralyzed in Kashmir Valley due to snowfall and rain, while water bodies freeze.
The 40-day-long period of harshest winter spell known locally as the Chillai Kala began in India's Jammu and Kashmir on Tuesday, with temperatures plummeting to sub-zero early in the morning in several parts. Most of the Kashmir Valley remains paralyzed during this period, with snow blocking roads and highways and several water bodies, including the Dal Lake in Srinagar city, freezes. People who came out for a morning walk near the Dal Lake were seen wrapped in layers of woolen clothes. The cold wave in Kashmir Valley also continues beyond the 40 days of Chillai Kala.
जी मैं अभी सुबह यहाँ वॉक करने आया था। आज चिल्लाई कलां का पहला दिन है। अब बहुत सर्दी यहाँ पे शुरू हो गई है। अब ये 40 डेज तक रहेगा। आप देख सकते हैं झील भी आस्ता आस्ता जमना शुरू हो चुकी है और तापमान में बहुत भारी गिरावट आ चुकी है।
Meanwhile, people in other parts of northern India, including capital New Delhi and Amritsar city, reeled under intense cold on Tuesday and resorted to bonfires and hot tea to keep themselves warm. Temperatures in northern parts of the Indian subcontinent dipped drastically during the months of December and January, mostly due to seasonal western disturbances. South Asia's winters are not as cold as other regions such as North America, but the millions of poor here are hit harder because they live in the open and do not have enough warm clothes and often die.
Well, that's the way it was in South Asia this evening. Before we conclude the top stories once again. India ready to assist countries in Bay of Bengal region, says Defence Minister Rajnath Singh. Hindu temple vandalized in Pakistan's Karachi, one held booked for blasphemy. And US working to get aid liquidity into Afghanistan amid urgent humanitarian situation, says State Department. Now our viewers can watch the show on SouthAsiaNewsline.com. You can also visit us on Facebook.com/AsAsiaNewsline and follow us on Twitter @AsAsiaNewsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We will see you same time tomorrow. Good night.